So now moving ahead to our first session of the day, an important panel on the digital era, future of insurance. And this panel, we will be covering some important points such as connecting the dots between the traditional and new digital economies, global innovative models of online businesses, what international best practices are adopted in India for online insurance, and the challenges and opportunities the insurance sector is facing. And now, going ahead, I would like to introduce the honorable panel members in the order of sequence. Mr. Srinivasan Iyengar, the COO of Reliance Nippon Life Insurance. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Iyengar. A big round of applause for him, please. Great to have you, sir. Our next member would be Mr. Nikhil Verma, business head for IMF Broking and Group Business, Aviva Life. A big round of applause for Mr. Nikhil Verma. Welcome to the stage, Nikhil. Our next panel member would be Mr. Mahendra Munot, Associate Director for New Business, Underwriting and Innovation from PNB MetLife Insurance. Welcome to the stage, Mahendra. A big round of applause for him. Mr. Sharad Mathur, the Head Sales and Distribution from SBI General Insurance. A big round of applause for Sharad, please. Great to have you, Sharad, once again with us. And Mr. Jagjit Sidhu, SVP and Head Digital Innovation from Kotak General Insurance. Welcome to the stage, Jagjit. And our honorable panel moderator, Mr. Sanjay Prasad, Vice President for Enterprise Sales from leadsquared. Welcome to the stage, Sanjay. A big round of applause for Sanjay, please. So, Sanjay, you will be the captain of the ship, the moderator. So the sequence will be like first 5 minutes an introduction about all the panel members and also about yourself. Then 40 minutes of panel discussion and 5 minutes of open Q&A session. Thank you. All over to you.
Thank you so much. So good morning. Good morning. Great, thank you. So I'm sure that I will keep you all, awake, excited, because it's a very, very interesting topic that we're going to discuss. The digital era and the future of insurance. And what best can we have for such a topic? We are having a total of 110 years experience sitting around me from insurance perspective. So I would like to start with Jagjit on my right side, coming with close to 20 years of experience, almost 16 with Allianz across various roles in India and overseas. And the last 3.5 years with Kotak. I have with me Mr. Srinivasan Iyengar, second from my left, 3 decades of experience, starting from, of course, LIC, global experiences, technology experiences, and the last 6 years with Reliance Nippon. Then right next to me on my left is Mr. Sharad Mathur, 22 plus years experience, 10 plus years last being with SBI. Next to Sharad is Mahendra Munot. Again, I'm speaking of a rich 18 years experience in the last 3 years being with PNB MetLife. And on my extreme left is Nikhil. Again, 2 decades of experience I'm talking about. And again, financials, right from Reliance, Citi, Aegon, and Aviva. So saying this, we are speaking of digital. Now, even before I move to digital, what is the opportunity that lies ahead and why we are speaking of digital at all, Now, this is a time where 65% of a population of 1.2 billion population who are, less than 35 years. Now, along with that, what we see significantly is India's foundation and technology is very huge, which also is powering the revolution of insurance industry. Of course, and this is being fueled by openness of the government, openness of IRDA. This introduces nothing but a huge competitive pressure on insurance to provide, as you say, a better digital experience. Traditional network has always been giving us less data because it's a distribution controlled way of engaging with customers. as compared to digital, where you're connecting with the customer more, you know about the customer more, you're able to, have a better engagement with them. It becomes more customer convenience. So how do I move from traditional to, digital? While the topic says connecting the dot, my panelists today morning when we were discussing, we came with a better, subject line to that, transformation from traditional to digital. So I would like to open up this question among the panel, starting with Jagjit on my right, and I will move from, in the clockwise direction. So Jagjit, what is your take of transformation from traditional to digital?
So good morning to everybody. See, I think, if you want to have my take, I would say that, India has been one of those countries which has evolved with its own culture very, very strongly. Now, traditionally, we have evolved with such practices which have been, known across the globe. And I think, in the current digital era, technology has actually enabled that best practices to be implemented with perfection in our country. Now, to name few, I would say, I think the biggest vertical progression which I have seen in last 15, 20 years has been the innovation of Aadhaar, which in fact has given, a unique identity to each individual living in this country. And I tell you, the benefit, the advantages we are reaping out of this whole progression is immense. We have done a whole amount of, innovation around that Aadhaar in this country for so long now. Huge amount of leakages have stopped. Direct benefits have got transferred to individual technologically. So I mean, technologically we have advanced just because, not that, we have got technology in our hand, but culturally we have evolved good practices which have been, contributed by technology to take to the next level, which is my take on the technology.
Sure. Thank you so much. Sharad, I would like to have...
Good morning, everyone. So, when we talk about transformation, I'll divide it into two compartments. One, what used to happen earlier is that, we used to devise strategies like, for different channels in terms of customer acquisition, like for bank assurance, agency, broking, etc. And we used to have servicing departments like, in insurance, if I talk about claim settlement, or we used to do in silos, some kind of an analytics in completely manual or maybe, on computer, but not fully digitized. So now how it has been transformed is that, it is a digital world now. So whatever we are doing in a digital world. So, whether we talk about customer acquisition through any of the distribution channels, whether we talk about, doing some data analytics, or we talk about, servicing customers, whether, issuing policies or settling their claims. So all systems are integrated. And if they are not, they need to be. In many entities, they might not be. There might be, different systems. CRM may not be integrated with core insurance system, or likewise, in banking, for example, or maybe claim settlement system may not be integrated. So all systems, I assume, need to be if they are not. So it becomes easy to do data analytics. It becomes easy to actualize your artificial intelligence. It becomes, even more efficient to make, accurate use of chatbots when you do interaction with the customer. And as we have heard about, single customer view. So that comes into play only when you have, fully integrated architecture, system architecture within. And when we talk about, connecting dots, as I heard, one of the phrases in between. So it is about, connecting or integrating your systems with the systems of various, regulators. Could be, say banking, for example, could be RTO, like in international markets. Insurance companies' system is integrated with banking system. If any lending is taking place, insurance companies get full visibility to it. These two systems are integrated with RTO. So if any motor car is getting delivered, so bank, insurance company, all are, getting visibility. And because of the competition, the health part comes into a play. It's not that, all stakeholders are working in silos. So this is the way I think, we are on the right track in our country, in our various sectors and businesses. And with this integration and, single customer view, things will going to get evolved and transformed in its true sense. So this is what, I think. Yeah.
So Mahendra, now that you come from the operations sides, so we would like to have your view of this transformation from traditional to digital.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning. So, so we are talking about transformation from traditional to digital. Now, my take is indeed this is a need of an hour. However, important point I would like to kind of press upon is how do we address this, or how do we do this transformation? And I would like to kind of use one example or a case study which is a huge success and which we all know, which is Uber. So just look at the transformation of Uber, which has done from traditional to digital. Now, what was traditional way? So we used to, if you want to kind of take a cab, we used to go and hunt for it. If you are able to successfully hunt for a cab, then we used to literally beg whether he is going to drop us to our desired location. If that happens, then the third part was whether he is going to drop us at the desired time in the fastest route and in the reliable way. And the last part was whether he's going to charge us appropriately, or he's going to kind of charge me higher than the required amount. Now, the Uber app actually addresses all these needs beautifully, isn't it? And that's where, if you look at the transformation from the way we used to traditionally hail a cab or call a cab, that has completely transformed. And today, all of us, kind of take this route to take a cab. Similarly, what I'm trying to say, we need to understand the pain points which are there in insurance, which help us to address those pain points with the help of technology. And to me, those pain points, I would say, the number one, how do we bring in the more transparency? Because today, entire dependency is on intermediary. Whatever he sells, whatever he pushes, that product is, kind of getting sold. So how we bring in that transparency through digital mode, how we make it convenient to the customer so that the entire onboarding process is entirely seamless, because insurance is one of the complicated products. So how do we address that need? And if we do that, believe me, this transformation would be a huge success, and which will help us to scale it to the new heights. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if I have to describe what is the difference between digital and digital transformation, digital got things in servicing seamlessly. Digital transformation is anticipate and service seamlessly. The important thing is it's not about just service. Service is a passe. It's all accepted. How do you anticipate what can be a service need, and then giving up your offerings in a manner that the customer feels that somebody has understood what he needs and also got a solution. I think that to me is a digital transformation, and that can be as big. Just a couple of examples. A normal course, a digitization would mean that if somebody comes for a transaction, can you complete it? A digital transformation is, in a way, enabling understanding that if a person has walked into a particular mall, anticipate that he needs something, and look upon his profile and say, these are your product offerings. Now, I'm just giving an example which is outside of insurance. You can apply it on insurance in a different way also. To me, that makes a difference between digital transformation and digitization. And the organizations which adopt digital transformation will always stay up the curve, irrespective of what you do.
True. Nikhil, I would like to have your take on the digital transformation.
Yeah, sure. When you're last on the sequence, you always see that your thoughts are already
I
going.
agree.
But anyway, having said that, yes, I think a lot has been described, but I would probably throw a different light. Today, I guess the transformation to me as a customer or as a seller is more of an information-seeking medium, because we just want to seek more and more information. I'm sure the transformation will soon be on actual sale happening on the digital medium. Now today, not that it is not there, it is limited to probably just buying a term plan or buying a critical illness or buying a motor, for instance. So it's very limited to very few things that we probably look at it from a day-to-day period. But look at the other way. I mean, it's almost become the digital way today. Like, for example, we are very, very comfortable buying a phone or a television or a home decor or any other product on our day-to-day basis, including groceries, so on and so forth. So tomorrow, the selling mediums, today like what Sharad was saying, the traditional economy or maybe the way India is promoting its insurance businesses, be it life, general, it is what? It is maybe an agency channel or a bancassurance channel or a broking channel. Tomorrow, I would see a lot of insurtech channels coming in. Tomorrow, Amazon might become a selling medium. Amazon will start promoting insurance. They've already invested in one of the companies in India and also globally. Flipkart might just become a selling channel. A lot of other channels in the virtual world will start promoting insurance. Maybe tomorrow, a Jio or a Airtel, because of its vast network, might just start promoting insurance. There's also a very big likelihood about the products being customized. Like one of our speakers today spoke about Uber. Now, there are already partnerships in the making. Like Uber is already with CoverFox, so that means it's changing the way product is being perceived. Today it's not just about life insurance, it's about need-based insurance. It's about, you also see an example of Ola and Bajaj have a partnership and they're customizing a product. So a lot of products will start getting customized as per the day-to-day needs changing. We also yesterday heard about MobiKwik offering a term insurance package. So tomorrow there's a huge possibility that a life, general, or a health insurance will come together and probably offer more customized packaged products. So that's how transformation is going to happen over a period of next 3, 5, 10 years or so. Challenges could be many, but yes, I'm sure during the course of the discussion we'll see how we could look at that.
Thanks, Nikhil. So amazing the points that I could take from our first topic, right from some key takeaways would be benefit to the customer, integrated systems, the example of Uber experience, transparency. Then one good takeaway was anticipating of what service to offer, and last but not the least is digital being the information seeking medium. So from here, in fact, when Mr. Srinivas said anticipating service offering, with this clue, I would move to the next topic where there are multiple examples of what's happening globally in perspective of insurance. What are the new methodologies, new practices that's happening? And I would like to quote one specific example of Flair HR in Australia. Now, this is a company which provides the HR services like payroll, onboarding, leave application, everything free of cost. What they, however, do is once onboarded, once customer data is input and the client has started using the data, they partner with a financial organization who has access to that data. And after understanding the portfolio of the complete employee, they start offering products based on various stages. It's an address change, it's a marriage, it's a divorce, it's a parenthood. Accordingly, they will offer various kind of products. It can be an home insurance, it can be a term plan, it can be, a retirement plan. And this is a classic example of how, various innovative things are happening. So this moves to my next question is global, innovation models. So what are the global innovation models which you all want to speak about, and how it is these kind of practices are getting imbibed in your organization? So starting with this time, Nikhil, I would like to start with you.
Okay. I'll cite certain examples which will probably make discussions more relevant. Now in the global markets, like we are already seeing in certain areas, maybe if a bank is promoting globally, and because they know their customer very, very well. In certain areas, we're already seeing variables becoming a price determinant. So for instance, if we are able to gauge customer lifestyle, either through health or his normal lifestyle, day-to-day routine, probably there are regulators or there are global banks who are offering customized rates or customized pricing. And that obviously is becoming a big differentiator in terms of making a sale. Secondly, more and more data being available. So today, the limited option we have is just very, very few variables. So really a data analytics, not a data analytics in India yet. But in large markets, we see variables being very high. So if there are 8 variables, 9 variables, 10 variables, so we technically know at least 70% of the information of the customer. So there it becomes more easier to determine a right price when you are selling, whether it is a life insurance, health, or even a GI. You know exactly the whereabouts of your client. But when it comes to India, it is still limited. So those are the challenges that we have to fix. But yes, more and more data being available, analytics can be better, pricing can be determined faster, and that's how the value of your investment or of your money will probably get fixed.
Thank you so much. Srinivasan, I would like to hear from you.
On the global innovation, I think there are 2-3 important trends that are happening. In an insurance perspective, we always been traditionally looking at insurance for life or insurance for a period of time. It's moving to insurance for days or insurance for hours. Yes. Now, it could vary between life and general. There's this organization in China which has been on the cutting edge, which talks about insuring your products only for the time when they are in transit. What has been their turnover? They are today more than $500 million in less than 1 year. They have sold 50 million policies on one day. That's probably equal to 5 years of the total general insurance sales in India for 5 years sold on one day. You create a different concept, price it by the hour, and then make it possible. Second is the innovations around health. In life, traditionally, the way of outlook has been, if you are unhealthy, you are excluded. Now we're talking in insurance to say, if you are unhealthy, I will still price you and get you the insurance. Now, very simple example, the Western markets, 22% of the people between the age of 18 and 45 by 2021 are going to have type 2 diabetes. In India, presently, it's already running at 12%. India at this rate is likely to overtake the Western world by 2030. Now, imagine if somebody says, I won't give you an insurance on diabetes, or says that if you are only with a rating of 6.5 or 7 and below, I will give it to you. The whole thing is gone to say that I will insure you even if you have got an HbA1c rating of 10. But this is the price, and you can have it for a period in time. You do some, I will link it with your various fitness tracker. You improve on your health, and automatically your premium comes down. You're actually creating a different ecosystem and a market by itself. The most important thing on innovation, where I would be a bit contrarian, is what runs excellent globally need not run very well in India. It's not because of anything else, because India is different. And some of these things have to be very tuned, particularly for India. Just to give you one small example, one of the top social media sites, 20% of the people in India who are Indian users have not given their personal information properly. So suddenly a 40-year-old man is given as a 20-year-old female. This is how we create our social profiles, 20%. Now, people can jump to say, I will do a lot of social media crawling, I'll use Hadoop, I will use big data, I will do all of this, and give you a great insurance policy in a jiffy. Surprising, you're going to offer a pregnancy included rider on an insurance policy for a 45-year-old male because social media told you that he is a 20-year-old female. So you have to be careful about some of these things that you bring in. So to me, global innovation with Indianness in terms of what is specific will make a huge difference between what you think is technology and what you think is applied technology that translates into business benefit.
Thank you, Srinivas. Applied technology is a good word, and thanks for so much statistics. We'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, sure. So I would like to take it ahead, what Srinivas mentioned, that, the global innovation and the Indianness, and how we are, kind of trying to inculcate or implement, especially in our organization. So I'm sure you must have heard about, recently we launched a very innovative servicing product, which is a Khushi. So this is a AI-based app, an insurance servicing app, which is not first of its kind in India, but I'm very proud to say that it's globally in insurance space. We are the first one to launch this AI-based insurance app. It's not a chatbot. If you look at, this is a very interactive application, which is servicing customers 24/7. This is predictive. So if you, visit regularly, Khushi would know what you are coming for, and Khushi would predict and tell you proactively. This is interactive. So not only on the text base, however, you can talk to Khushi and you can say, for example, hi Khushi, can I have my policy document? And the next second you will have your policy document, your renewal premium notice, whatever you ask for in your application. So, and the Khushi is learning, kind of on daily basis. So just to give example, maybe if you look at Indian demographics, people do not understand or maybe do not call premium all across. Someone would say, what is my EMI for this, sorry, for this policy or so. So Khushi understands this jargon, builds on it, and then predicts on a daily basis. So that's what, kind of innovation we are talking about, which is more suitable in the Indian context. So that's one innovation. Second, we are looking at, how do we do underwriting, which is one of the most complex, I would say, kind of a process in the entire insurance journey. How do we do it on the database? So today there are various ways, and we do it, kind of a invasive test, medical test, which is inconvenient, and customers are shying away because of that, because they have to go through this entire tedious process. So I think we have to shift. We have to work on the make the best use of technology, use of data, whichever is available. One of the challenges in India is data is not available to the quality what we need. But how do we build onto it, and how do we make the best use of data to simplify these aspects? That is going to definitely help us to transform. Thanks.
Thanks, Mahendra. Sharad, over to you.
So, in technology, I'll say that what we are doing, or some of the players here in general insurance, is actually not an innovation, but maybe something new. Like, to cite an example, in SBI General Insurance, and maybe along with 3 or 4 more general insurers, we have executed blockchain in space of claims. So no claim bonus. You all might be aware that if you don't make a claim in your motor, so there is a no claim bonus that you get. So visibility to this, all 5 insurers, those who have joined together and created a system, get access to customer data, and seamless experience for the customer and for the service provider as insurers. So this is something which is again not very great or innovative, but transformation or something new that the industry is entering in and making customer experience better. Or maybe you might have, or maybe most of you, those who are health freak, would have heard about Healthify Me, or we all are using wearable tech devices, how many steps we have done, etc., calories burned. So all, if we integrate with Healthify Me, for example, so we'll get recorded and access to it to doctors for better pricing, to insurers, etc. So again, this is something, I'll say, not an innovation, but something new which we keep hearing, but maybe implementation is gradually taking place, which will going to make the day it happens comprehensively and in its entirety will become good, not only for the end users, but also for the service providers to make best services available. Now, to cite one example from international market about how innovation can take place here is, say for example, in Brazil, what happens, there is dental insurance which is missing in our country. We do dental insurance as a rider, maybe in some life insurance products or in GI products, but one product is missing completely because we consider that we don't have right data, or pricing might not be possible that accurately, so we shy away from this. So how it happens in Brazil is the insurance company, they have made dental products. They have created a system which is used by all dental surgeons, dental clinics, and have access to all those dental insurers. And there is some kind of an integration at places where insurance system is integrated with that system, or the common system being used by the dental surgeons. So now, whenever patients make a visit there, so there is an OTC offering which doctors offer when patient is offering for his regular checkup or cleaning kind of a thing, that you can do your root canal as and when needed. So he has done propaganda of the product, and if patient wants to buy, so doctor can with a few details which in any which ways he fills in his system, customer name, address, etc. So here which plan he wants and premium. So this patient says that, okay, I want to buy. He buys that. Payment is made by a card or net transfer, which is common in our country as well. And policies generated there and then can be emailed, or printout can be taken, handed over to the customer. And suppose if same patient visits after say 8 months, and he says that, there is a toothache, and, doctor discovers that there is a need of root canal is carried out. So photographs and all taken, uploaded there and then in the system. So, and claim is also settled because, everything is fixed. So OTC is not only from the customer acquisition or price perspective, but also from the claim settlement angle. So in the whole chain, what we see is that, there is insurer and doctor. Doctor only is doing the selling. He only is treating the patient. He is only settling the claim, and there is no one in between. And all this is made possible because of systems and system integration. So this, I'll say that, where some innovation we have seen as far as the product is concerned, pricing is concerned, as far as the serviceability aspect is concerned, and customer seamless experience is concerned. Everything, is happening just between, two dots, insurer and the doctor. So these are some of the things, which will be seen in our country, and I have no doubt, no iota of doubt that I have, that, these things will going to get implemented very soon, because nothing, innovative or new when it comes to implementing it. But when we, just see from distance, we see that, how innovatively it is done. So this is what, the strength of entire, digital transformation or, offshoots of digital transformation, which I'll say digitized processes or automation are concerned. So this is my view. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharad. That's a good example of, digital moving you all to collaborate, where 5, insurance companies are collaborating and using blockchain, and the example of dental insurance was amazing. So Jagjit, I would like to hear from you in perspective of global practices being done at Kotak GI.
So before coming to Kotak GI, I just want to take the audience 10 years back. How was actually digitization were defined then, and how is digitization defined now? Now, if you go 10 years back, digitization was more or less taken as a distribution platform, where companies were taking it as a tool or a platform to actually sell their product. But I think in last 5 to 7 years, digitization from digital distribution platform has graduated to digital ecosystem. So if you see, if you come to globe first before coming to India, so globally, they have imbibed this culture of, forming an ecosystem very, very strongly. Now, if I'm limiting my, point of discussion to only insurance, there are companies, which are doing huge amount of work on the digitization side in terms of insurance. So to name few, you find a company known as Naked in South Africa, which allows insurance when the car is only in use. So when you are sitting here in a conference, you can use your application to switch off the insurance using that app, and then your insurance premium would immediately get reduced for that time period for which you are not driving the car. Similarly, in the United States of America, where the cost of health insurance is very, very high, what people are trying to do is they are trying to incentivize good health, then to incentivize doctors. So what I mean to say here, the companies like Oscar or Vitality in South Africa, they are trying to have a cutting-edge technology in engaging their customers to do more on the wellness programs. More and more, the steps they take, they get more and more discount on their insurance. So in a way, it is becoming an ecosystem not only to actually sell insurance, but actually make people happier and healthier. So this is, the best possible positive effect of digitization I am feeling across the globe. Now coming to India, now India is a very fast adaptive economy and culture. Now you see, when I was talking about Aadhaar, and I started with Aadhaar for simple reason, because we are the biggest social security scheme across the globe. You see, we have got 130 crore people, and everybody have got inducted in Aadhaar in with such good pace. So I think Indians are very, very good in adopting, whatever good thing coming across to them. And I'm very sure that, this digital ecosystem is also going to be, very much there in India in coming couple of years from here. Now again, coming back to insurance, our regulators are also taking huge amount of steps in actually innovating this kind of culture. Now very recently, they are coming out with the sandbox committee to develop an ecosystem where, all these kinds of innovation, can be given a little bit more promotion to ensure both policy holders and the insurance companies get more advancement in these lines. So this is a fantastic era, we are living in. Digitization is going to change the whole paradigm of risk. It is going to be more, risk-based underwriting than the price-based underwriting. Insurance is getting sold in India more as a commodity, and I think this is going to change. People are going to get a customized product at their own, defined prices in coming year from now. At Kotak General also, we are doing lots and lots of things on the digitization side. We are a company, who have come, just 3.5 years back in the industry, and we have got that last mover advantage in actually, learning from good and bad, industry has done in the last 17, 18, 19 years. So we are trying to put a lot of, tools around us which make customer experience one of the best in class. Because customer is happy, everybody is happy. And what I have learned over the past, few years in the whole set of or scheme of thing of mine is that happier companies are those who do things differently. So I mean lot to see in this space, and possibly a couple of years from here risk-based underwriting is going to be the name of insurance in India.
Thank you so much, Jagjit. So good takeaways from global practices and global innovation that's happening. We discussed about one-day pricing, hour-based pricing, blockchain integration, and what Nikhil spoke was 8 variables. Now 8 variables leads me to start thinking about, say, one of the leadsquared customers, like say Acco Insurance, Acco, Go Digit. These are bringing huge disruption, and one of the things which they have is these kind of more information, more data, because like the way they are doing business digitally. But is it easy? Is it really easy to go beyond 8, 10, 12, 15 variables, hence come at the right price, right prioritization, right algorithms, etc.? I don't think it's that easy. Going digital has its own challenges, challenges in perspective of technology, challenges in perspective of data and security, customer centricity, the innovation culture. You're bringing the digital culture, moving up, not exactly moving, but bringing a new aspect of not just traditional, but a digital channel to sell. So, but along with these challenges, as we are seeing with Acco, and of course, all my existing friends out here, they've seen online being taken up. So there's a huge opportunity also, where like if I compare 2006, 7 or 8, where it was just 0.4% online selling to it is now close to 5% this year. So the next topic is about challenges and opportunities that we get when we move to digital, or if there's a transformation to digital. So now I would like to start with Jagjit on your take on challenges and the opportunities that we get by adopting and going into the digital era.
So I mean, for me, there are two challenges, which I foresee, in digitization as a whole. I'm not limiting my, thoughts to only insurance here, because, it is something, which become part of the whole scheme of things. So, two challenges which I foresee is one is on the cybersecurity side, because, huge amount of exchange of transactions which are taking place, and monetary transactions are increasing like haywire. I was given to understand that, by close to 2023, close to $5.2 trillion of digital economy across the globe would be a reality, which is going to be the, 2 times of Indian current GDP. So, I mean to say, if that amount of transactions and that amount of volumes are there, then how, we are going to address on the cybersecurity side. And the second most important thing which I feel like, is worrying me is on the data colonization. Now I'm seeing that, huge amount of data colonization is taking place, but it is of, not that good use to anybody, but data is there. Now, as the new, thoughts and new, things are building across globe about the data privacy, how data colonization is going to come to any help to these companies. We see Google, we see Amazon, the amount of, profiling they can do about you, trust me, your wife cannot do for yourself. So, I mean, something, which in a way is good, but, coming out with the side effects also. I think these are two challenges which I foresee is going to make a lot of difference, and how we evolve so quickly to these two challenges, I think that would be the key from here.
Thank you so much, Jagjit. I like the Google example. Sharad, I would like to take your take on challenges and opportunities.
Yeah. As I was mentioning earlier, that bigger challenge is that we are not, integrated the entire ecosystem. Suppose if, I say banking and insurance, they both roll up to through different regulators, RBI and IRDI, to the same finance ministry. But then still, there is no way that we can integrate our systems. So this, I believe that, is fundamental. Or say within an entity as, insurer, if we have, all integrated systems, it would be wonderful, to ensure that insurance companies have a single customer view. But many established insurers, not only in India but abroad also, traditional ones, have legacy systems. So to create parallel systems and integrating them is, appearing to be a challenge across. And also I believe that, when we are talking about fully digitization, digital transformation, so in insurance, if you make a claim, so for example, health insurance or any for that matter, you will never going to get 100%. There are deductibles, something may not be covered. Say, someone contracting heart ailment, getting hospitalized, getting surgery done, total cost 10 lakh. So he might end up getting say 9 lakh. So 1 lakh still, remaining to be paid out of pocket. So what can be done is, had there been no insurance, for example, for this person, he would have either paid entire amount out of pocket or would have taken loan from the bank and paid the entire amount. So if insurance company can do a tie-up with, fintech companies or the digitized version of these NBFCs or banks and say that, 9 lakh would be paid by the insurance company, for 1 lakh customer would be offered, loan, and everything is integrated. So customer is walking in and walking out seamlessly without getting involved in cash transactions. So this is what the real transformation would be, which would bring change in entire customer experience. Thanks.
That's an amazing example, Sharad, of the balance being transferred and integration with a fintech company. So Mahindra, your take on challenges and opportunities for digital era?
Sure, thanks. So I would like to touch upon this aspect, on challenges. Is though today we may say, we are on the journey of digitization. However, if you look at, are we fully digitized? I would say the answer is no. The reason being, we have an online portal, okay, or maybe we have a people selling insurance through a mechanism of a tablet, wherein the application form and everything is getting filled on the tablet. However, the hassle of giving documents, giving KYC, giving age proof, giving financial documents, especially when it comes to life insurance, that remains. And I would say the real digitization would be wherein, without giving a single paper, if you are able to issue a policy on the click of the button, where you have a pre-populated, a details field just by sharing, one unique number or so, I would say that is going to transform. And today that is the biggest challenge. We do not have a single repository, so Aadhaar was a big initiative, and I would say we were actually heading into a right direction, and the couple of companies had implemented, just basis giving Aadhaar number, we were able to get the pre-filled application form, we were able to do the KYC verification, so it was kind of a paperless transaction to some extent. However, that has hit the roadblock. So thing is, how do we move towards that era? And for that, I would say, what is important is the participation from all of us. So when it comes to going to digitization, we all agree, yeah, that is a need of an hour. However, it comes to, a participating in this, I would say, there is a hesitation. There are bureaus, who are approaching companies. However, we see the participation is not to that great extent. So unless we work together, as an industry on this shift, that will definitely going to, pose a challenge to all of us. On opportunity, I would say it's a huge, we have to work together, because we are seeing that, for the next generation, what we call millennials, they are coming quickly, up the curve. They are going to be your customers, big customers for the next time. So how do we adopt to the technology in the faster way? That is going to really, give us a huge opportunity to penetrate more when it comes to insurance.
Thank you so much, Mahindra. Srinivasan, your take on the challenges and the opportunities.
Challenges, the way I look at it, first and most important is, for any digital transformation, at least from an Indian perspective, is how do you reach out to the last man in the last village in this country? More often than not, all digital transformation that we speak about and mention, all the global examples, are very much applicable to the 4 metro cities in this country. All of us experience what is telecom. Go step out of this place. Today, even within metro, you can find the difference in telecom between 2 buildings. You can have a great app, but if it doesn't run, it's of no use. The first and most important thing for me in terms of challenges, how do you get over this barrier to be able to reach out in a manner which is easy to use and understandable? A very simple example is you can have lots of English sentences coming out on a particular screen, which may be appealing to only a small segment of the population, versus a simple icon which gives an image which speaks a lot in just one picture versus 10 sentences, which can probably be understood by a large mass in this country. The first challenge in digital transformation, in my view, is how do you ensure that you take your solution in an easier manner to the last mile. The second challenge, if that's there in front, and that's a larger insurance industry itself, is the industry is not going to be the way that what we see today. So we all been talking about small transformations. I would dare to say that very soon you may have peer-to-peer insurance and probably not have an insurance company in between. I think we are taking it for too much for granted that there is this big insurance company in between. There is already 2 insurance company out in US which has launched a peer-to-peer insurance. Now what is peer-to-peer insurance? In good old English language 350 years back, it used to be called mutual societies. A group of people came together, pooled in their money, and found out what money is sufficient for them to take care of the expected death within a group, and that's how the death was settled. We are moving towards peer-to-peer insurance. This is done by a combination of blockchain, AI, which is for risk management, which is done by telecommunications, which is, you can talk about app-based, voice-to-chat, chat-to-voice, all of these. The combination of these creates a peer-to-peer insurance, probably except for an actuary who needs to do a pricing. I don't think you would need anybody in a peer-to-peer insurance to run. It's a huge paradigm shift, might be a shock to a lot of people, but that day is not far away. That's a great opportunity that I see, and how many of us are actually getting into that path to make our company relevant for 2025. The second aspect on the opportunities is to go to a segment of population which has been not covered. Today, most of our digital transformation is talking about cross-sell, upsell, and to look at the same market which is getting saturated. If you were to put a heat map of all the policyholders in this country, 90% of the insurance policy is sold in less than 35% of the footprint in this country. So where is innovation here? Your innovation has not gone beyond 35%. The true innovation would be how do you lead it to the remaining 65%, and that's where you can actually transform a lot. That would probably mean selling an insurance like a scratch card. 10 years back, there was this innovation that was done in the prepaid mobile number where you could just walk to a panwala and say that I want to buy a telephone connection, and he will give you a scratch card. You just scratch the number, call up a particular number, and phone number is activated. People laughed at it. I expect a similar thing to happen to insurance. Why? I'll just give you an example. Today you're talking about an insurance which says auto underwriting. Untouched by an underwriter, the policy gets assessed used on certain tools. Now I'm just taking it saying that I will give a 2 lakh insurance to anybody who pays me 50 rupees. But to go beyond 2 lakhs, you have to scratch the card, give this number to a particular one, answer a few questions, pay the money online, it gets seamlessly transmitted, and you have your insurance cover going up from 2 to 20 lakhs or whatever it could be. This whole shift of moving more near to the customer's house and so that he can buy, and that's transformation. Transformation always need not be coming with a technology in place. It needs to have an ecosystem. Last but not the least, we are hearing a lot about underwriting. We are talking about a lot of where underwriting is faster, better. I would like to draw an attention to a paper that has just been released last year a global paper, which says 92% of insurance underwriting by 2022 will be done without an underwriter. And that's innovation. How do you reach there? And that's going to change the entire paradigm of how we are thinking. To me, this is an opportunity as well as a challenge in itself. The opportunity of a large market, the challenge of not being over ambitious or greedy in a way that the customer feels that he has been intruded too much. And therefore, there's something called as familiarity breeds contempt. If you're trying to be overdoing something, the customer is going to say, thank you, you're a great company, but I don't want to be associated with you because you are intruding into my life too much. I think that's going to be the balance. So a lot, individually, each of them offer you an opportunity as well as a challenge.
Nikhil, so we are almost like left with
Yeah,
minimum
I can see
time.
the clock ticking.
So I want you to focus for the audience. What are the opportunities out here lying, of insurance moving towards digital era?
Yes. So yes, I would more focus on the opportunity side, but there's only one challenge. The challenge could be regulation itself. So for example, the two regulators that Sharad touched upon, like we have RBI, which is very forward-looking, and with due respects to IIDA, it's very inward-looking. For example, even the IIDA website, most of the times when you talk about the digital world, that itself says under construction. So I think it is more about regulator also being opening up. Now, coming to your question on opportunity. Now, opportunities could be plenty. Now, but we also need to understand, the amount of time the customer is willing to spend towards maybe a life, health, or a general. Because in the order of priority, most of this is not the priority, because regulation is probably talking only about motor insurance or a very few things that are on priority list. The rest of them always take a back seat. It always takes a back seat because maybe the amount of time or the amount of bandwidth that you need to spend on buying that particular product, it's now being available, but does he have the time? And then time has to be shortened, which means tomorrow we'll have to focus on what is the actual customer requirement. Now on the hindsight, like randomly I can think about today we're spending more time, let's on the smartphone. So maybe tomorrow the customer is only looking at maybe insuring his thumb. Now maybe it is available, but can we insure his thumb? So the risks are different. So we have to probably design products in a very different manner. Now is the regulator thinking on those lines? Maybe tomorrow only eyes have to be insured. Are we thinking on these lines? Maybe no. Is regulator open? So that's challenge and opportunity both coming up together. How flexible we are in thinking in that direction. Maybe tomorrow we are spending too much time today on maybe our smartphones. So are we willing to insure our ear? So it's a challenge as well as an opportunity coming up together. So these are the things that probably we need to be more open about, discuss about it, try to come together and solve it. It's also just not just the industry or manufacturers coming together, it's also a regulator coming together and seeing if we can go hand in hand to make it more convenient for the customer through the digital medium.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. With 110 years of experience of insurance, we had to cross the limit and cross the time limit for the panel. So apologies for just completing, and I would have loved to get the takeaways from everyone. But just to summarize, there are some very important takeaways which we spoke about: integrated system, making it more convenient to the customer, being very innovative in perspective of products, and of course providing the benefits to the customer. So while we can go on with the takeaways, we have time for how many questions? Just one question. Otherwise, the panel members are there even after the panel discussion, to take all your questions. Just one question.
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Anand. Thank you for the very enriching discourse. We talked a lot about digital transformation, and from my limited experience, I understand it encompasses three aspects: technology, process, and people. While we have talked a lot about process and technology, what's your view on people? Because any change ultimately involves people at the forefront of it, and it involves, of course, business and technology are at the forefront of this transformation exercise, but then you have all support functions coming in. You have legal, you have compliance, you have finance, etc. Everybody involved in this needs to inculcate a change in the way they think and in the way they execute, because this will ultimately determine the time to market. And that speed will sort of determine whether an organization catches up with this change that is happening globally. how do organizations manage people transformation with respect to this? One might just say that, changing the way we measure performance is one, but I believe it's slightly more complex than that. So that is one. The second thing is, when you scale up in digital transformation, do traditional models for scale up work? Yeah. Thank you.
I guess we have a mix of panel out here, right, from distribution to operations to marketing. So I'll throw open for the panel to reply to your question on people and digital on the traditional model. Maybe two of you all can take the answer.
So I think, we are fast moving from brick economy to the click economy. Okay, so that is the, agenda for tomorrow. So also you would see that, if you see in the current juncture, people who are doing good are actually who are doing things differently and bringing, value to both customer, employee, and the organization. So I mean to say, if you are saying that, transformation in terms of processes, transformation in terms of technology is taking place, of course, the transformation in terms of the human resource development is also taking place. So I positively see the new generation coming in with different skill set would actually take this issue all forward. And if you see all the fintech and insurtech companies, coming or cropping up across the globe, they are run by people who have just come out of colleges, who have just, in India also, you have got Oyo, you have got, Ola, huge amount, Swiggies. So I mean, there is a huge amount of a improvement in skill set already. People are changing, developing. Organizations are also finding a different ways and means to actually develop their skill set, their human resources in different direction to suit the requirement of coming time.
So I'll just add on the people part. I think people are the core. No transformation project or no transformation initiative of any kind, whether digital or otherwise, will succeed without people being involved and people being put in the first place. The most important thing then is to be very clear that you have to unlearn and learn new things. I think many organizations do not spend the amount of time, money, and effort in first creating ease on that layer to say, you have to unlearn yourself from something and then you have to learn a new thing. Without that, whatever digital that you talk about is probably going to be like the nice startup stories. So you have got 80% of the startup perishing and 20% of the startup doing. If you want to be in that 20% of successful organization, people are the core. And to me, people would mean respect them, learn, make them unlearn, and learn, give them a learning of a different kind. And then when that goes hand in hand with whatever digital initiative that you do, only then it becomes successful.
Sure. Thanks, Srinivas. And I'll not take much time. If you want more inputs on digital's role on traditional model, it plays a huge role. You can always meet us offline after the event. Even I would like to add to you on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all of you. It was greatly moderated by you, Sanjay. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to call on stage Mr. Rahul Sudame to kindly do the honor of felicitating the panel members. Please welcome to the stage, Rahul. A big round of applause for Rahul, please. A big round of applause for Mr. Sidhu, Jagjit Sidhu. A big round of applause for Mr. Sanjay Prasad. A big round of applause for Mr. Sharad Mathur. Round of applause for Mr. Mahendra Munot.
Thank you. Thank you.
A big round of applause for Mr. Srinivas Iyengaran. A big round of applause for Mr. Nikhil Verma. I I would request all of you to come ahead for the group photograph.